Welcome back for another video. I'm Eharbad, a free-to-play and game player in Raid Shadow Legends. It is Sunday and we have tag team to do. Right, let's have a look at this team and see what we can do. Right then, let's talk through my ideas in this. So, firstly we have Warlord and Hegemon are my main concerns in Team 1. I'm going to bring in Mithrala to cleanse against Hegemon. Mithrala as a cleanser also allows me to know that I can have a increase attack against Warlord, who will undoubtedly put all my skills on cooldown. And then I'm going to protect Candraphon, and with Candraphon I will firstly kill Arbiter if she has the revive off cooldown, or Trunder if the revive is on cooldown. So we'll see how that pans out. Fight 2, I'm going for something a little bit odd, and that's kind of an Arbiter with a protection set Brogni to try and counter the Uko. I don't yet have Basher 2 built, so I would prefer to have a means to put their skills on cooldown, but that's not currently an option. I think Fight 2 I might well lose, to be honest. I can't go down the bomb route because we've got a Necrit that's going to protect at least one of them, plus with 2 Force champions and my only viable bomb champion being Gaius, that is a problematic team. And then in Fight 3, I am going for 2 ways of controlling Ramantu. So if the sleep lands, I won't use Basher's skill cooldown on the first cycle. It kind of depends. We need to see how it pans out. But my idea would be to sleep as much as I can with Kymar, buff myself, and then hope that that Trunder is slept at that point, and then I can cycle back round until we have the probably Stone Skin Duchess and Stone Skin Ramantu have used up their turns. Otherwise, if we don't get the sleep on Ramantu, we will put skills on cooldown. So we're just going to have to kind of see how it plays out. But that's my rough thinking. I definitely do need to, at some point, I'd say it's getting more and more critical. I need to actually rebuild some champions. Particularly, I think I need to get Ramantu and Madame into Stone Skin. And I want Candraphon 2 in Stone Skin. I've started to put together a little list of rebuilds that I intend on doing and trying to work out exactly how that's going to fit together. And that's something that I would suggest once you've done this roster analysis that we've been through in previous videos, that you start to map out the exact builds that you would like to target, obviously cognizant of what your gear is capable of doing. And I'm going to do another video dedicated to how I would put together that matrix on an account that maybe doesn't have quite the gear that my main account does. Anyway, let's jump into these fights and see how they go. Hegemon goes first, as expected. We get the debuffs. Interestingly, Warlord did not put the skills on cooldown. So I say I will cleanse. Bit annoying that we didn't get to buff ourselves. Bit of a pain. Anyway, let's go for the A2. Also a bit of a pain that we didn't get to kill anyone. With the Hex there, we hopefully will get some petrifications, ideally on Arbiter and Warlord. But on everyone but Arbiter. Try and get the block cooldown skill. And we're just kind of waiting until Candraphon gets out of this stun. Which, in fact, we can cleanse again now. And like I said, we'll go for Arbiter now before she's able to revive. We should be able to take the damage from Trunder. Make sure we've got increased attack. I will just hit anyone with a Suga. If we ever get back to our Candraphon. We'll make sure we kill the Trunder first, and then I can just hit auto, and we'll eventually get the Warlord killed. There we go. On to fight 2. Now, Stone Skin on 3 of them, and the block debuffs on the other. Like I said, I thought this is going to be quite a tricky one. I'm going to try and strip some Stone Skin. And then let's see if we can get some kills. There we go. Now they're going to revive. Try and get the reduced duration. At this point, I will go and get my CC up. Try and again get some protected buffs going. And kill again. But skill on cooldown, so you should have to A1. Let's see if we can actually strip that buff off. And then with Arbiter, we'll kill Candraphon. They're a little bit of an odd team that I went for there. Interestingly, no one in Stone Skin. I really wasn't expecting that. That's annoying. So we are going to have to put skills on cooldown. We got polymorphed. Let's see if we can just get our Trunder away. That is also annoying. Hopefully we will cycle back to our Trunder. We can use the A2 before any of them go. And we managed the clean sweep, but not easy. Not easy at all. Let's see if there's any other high rank. Maybe this one. What have we got? We have quite a high damage Team 1. A mixed bag, a kind of cleanser, Mithrala, debuffer in Roman 2. And then another Hegemon nuke team. So let me put together my teams and then I'll talk through my thought process on how I've arrived at those teams. Right then, so I think that fight 1 is probably going to be a higher damage composition than fight 3, purely because Arbiter is a more fragile support than Duchess. I think you're more likely to expect to kind of, they want to nuke and win in 1, and here they can probably play a slightly longer game because Duchess will keep the team alive, and Candraphon is naturally tanky as well, so I kind of feel like there's probably a little bit less damage output in Team 3, and Team 1 is more of a full-on nuke. So with that in mind, I'm putting the Mithrala team with Asuga protecting, and going for the positive affinity of Candraphon versus Hefrak, and I'm trying to go for my kind of tankiest setup against fight 1. With fight 3, I've gone for my other cleanser. It's not ideal because I don't think my Wither has enough resistance necessarily to resist Kymar, but we do have the affinity bonus, so hopefully we'll get lucky there. Otherwise, with Leoris, we can't actually die per se. And then Romantu's a bit of a problem here because he'll get sped up and get out of turn order. So actually, let's change that to Madame, and then we should be able to strip them off. So how I'm expecting it to pan out. So how I'm expecting it to pan out is Kymar hopefully won't sleep with it, but if he does, then we're going to be in trouble. And then fight 2, it's quite straightforward. We should win the speed race. We should be able to put everyone's skills on cooldown except for Mithrala, and then hopefully we'll manage to get a kill with Trunder. But it's going to be a bit tricky as well, to be honest. We have no way of cleansing their buffs, and that's kind of the problem. But I'm not 100% certain on these teams. I'm definitely not 100% confident here. A frack in Stone Skin. Right, so full CC Hedgie, we can cleanse that all off. Efrak does very little to us since we have Strengthen and Asuga. And then we should pretty much just one-shot them all with Candrathon. So basically, not enough damage. I think it's a mistake for them to be running a CC Hegemon in that team. Right, let's see what we can do here. Let's try and put the skills on cooldown. As we expected, Mithrala resisted. And the real question here is, can we actually get a kill? We kind of need to. Not having block debuffs is a bit of a problem. Let's see if Trunda can get us what we need. I think as long as we can just cycle back round and get Rotus killed here, that's kind of the key. I'll hold off buffing because Trunda is currently petrified. And she would not benefit from the buff, we're still protected here. Try and get decrease attack on Rotos if we can. Now we can increase attack. Put the skills back on cooldown. Just get Rotos killed. And now we're safe. So we can just put it on auto at this point. It might take a while because Mithrala is a pain, particularly if you don't have block debuffs. We will eventually win. There we go. So the big thing here is, oh, that's bizarre. That is not optimal. Kaimar is coming after with this. So I'm going to have to go for the cleanse anyway. I just want to get the decrease attack off Leo. Leo cannot be slept. We're still in a good position here with Leo at 1 HP. We should do good damage. And then we get our time to revive. We are a little bit behind on the turn meter, unfortunately, though, so I do think we'll probably end up losing this, to be honest. Kaimar being slower than Wither actually cost us the fight, I think. Plus not having Madame in Stone Skin. But we won 2 out of 3, and it again reaffirms what we need to be focusing on in terms of rebuilds. Right then, another opponent that's very highly ranked. That tends to be my preference. So once again, let me rejig the teams, and then I'll talk through my thought process. Right. So we've once again gone for Mithrala to pair off against the Kaimar, and we're going for a tanky team to go against a kind of nuker-oriented team. Gaius cannot debuff Mithrala in this setup, and we will be able to cleanse off the sleep and the bombs. Furthermore, Leoris cannot be slept by Gaius either, and that will give us an opportunity to get in. But that's not actually the reason Leoris is in Fight 3. If we look through Fights 1 and 2, we have a Rotos in both compositions. And I tend to not like to put Leoris against Rotos, since the whole having an unkillable passive is nullified by Rotos' A3. So he's a bad champion choice to go against Rotos. We have the Ultimate Death Knight protecting Trunda in Fight 2. And in Fight 1, we have our Cleanser, who will probably need to cleanse the Provoke from Krisk. I'm expecting this Krisk to be fast enough to provoke after the Arbiter has taken a turn. And then basically we're going to try and strip off their buffs. I'm expecting them to have strengthen up from Mithrala by the time Madame goes. It's not optimal here to not to have a double hit, but could maybe swap for Hefrak. I'd just be worried that Hefrak wouldn't do enough damage. Let's try it. So Arbiter goes first. There you get the provoke. Strangely enough, Duchess skipped ahead, but we can cleanse off that. And we should be able to strip off most of that. It's kind of annoying. That was my worry. We're in a bad place now. See what we can do. That's a problem. I'm not sure we're going to be able to get around to Hefrak, and that's the benefit of Candrathon in that situation. The damage I find is more reliable, even if we ended up having to deal with Rotos at the end, it wouldn't be as much of a problem. But as this stands, we just can't do enough damage with Hefrak. Romantu would have been a better option instead of Madame as well. Go for the self buff and just try and see if we can. There we go. That was a much harder fight than it needed to be. I think if we had just gone with the Candrathon, it would have been a lot better. And that's the thing with Hefrak. He has the highest kind of damage potential, but because it's got that conditional element and these defenses are very tanky generally, it can be a bit hit and miss. And let's put the skills on cooldown and go for the nuke. And we basically need to be able to kill Duchess here before she gets the revive. I'm going to hold back the A2 in case she does get the revive and just go for an A1. Because I think she will get the revive and then we should be able to A2 everyone down, basically. That's the theory. Put the increased attack back on. Go for the A2. Put the skills back on cooldown. Avoid this revive coming from Raglin. Let's just kill Raglin. Let's see if we can get Rotos killed, and then we'll just hit auto. And again, it might take a little bit of time because Trunda is going to struggle to kill Wither due to weak hits and all the rest of it, plus loads of healing from Wither, but at the same token, Wither can't actually win this fight. And there we go, that's done. Well, that didn't go to plan. The counterattack from Leoris killed Gaius which meant that I couldn't get the cleanse out and everyone died. And that's when retribution is not optimal. Oh well. Otherwise it was going perfectly to plan. Right, then here's another candidate team. Once again, let me go through. I'll pick new teams. I'll talk through my thought process and then we'll get into the fight. Once again, fight 3 is where I've started my consideration. So we've gone for the tanky team. I am a little bit concerned about Constantine on his passive, where Undead, Demon Spawn, Knights Rev cannot be revived. And obviously, I've got 3 champions here that are susceptible to that. But I think as long as we time the cleanse correctly, it should be fine. It's hard to say for certain what speed tune they've got here, but my guess would be that we should be in a position to cut in reasonably. If Madame and Ramantu haven't gone by the time Mithrala goes, I'll be using the A2 and try and get them petrified, essentially. So we'll have to kind of see how it plays out. In fight 1, we have a Rotos, so we are going with our ultimate Death Knight. We're going to go for the double hit, the nuke of Trunda. We're going to try and strip them of their buffs, predominantly coming from Brogni. And then we've got a Duchess to protect and to give us block debuffs against Mithrala. In fight 2, we're going to try and put the passives, try and block them with Ramantu, particularly the Vogoth. To be honest, actually all 4 of them have passives we want to block, but mostly for us it's the Vogoth to give us the opportunity to actually kill them without having that layer of protection. Right, so let's jump in and see how the fights pan out. So we'll go first and buff ourselves. Thankfully, Mithrala has wasted her ability, and now we'll try and get the nuke away. A little bit annoying that our Madame came, or that their Brogni was that slow, to be honest. If we can take a few more buffs away. Now we can't A2 with Trunda here because of Ultimate Death Knight. We're going to go for an A1, try and get the Rotos down. They have no way of reviving. So now this is effectively a fight that we can't lose at this point. We just want to win it as quickly as possible. We'll just buff ourselves again. Decrease attacks a bit annoying. At which point I'm going to go just try an A1 here. Still 1 turn away from being able to strip with Madame. I think as long as we can get one of them killed, preferably probably the Brogni first, they'll die a lot faster thereafter. But we have a lot of layers of protection here. This team would be, if you didn't get that Rotos killed early, like this team is a really tricky defense actually. Let's just hit auto. This could take a while. Wow, nearly 5 minutes. That is wild. Right, buff ourselves, put their skills on cooldown, block the passives, and I'm actually just going to go an A1. I want to wait for the reactions to wear off. Of course, we've now unblocked the passive, which is a real pain. Get block buffs out on Candrathon. Go for the A3. Get the increased attack back on. Oh, this is all going horribly wrong now. And we're going to lose it. That was just terrible fight management from me. Truly appalling. Okay, that's annoying. We didn't cut in. But we kind of need this to be a clean sweep. We'll get Arbiter killed. And then it's kind of a 1v1. We should win with Mithrala. Stack up those poisons. There we go. Like, terrible fight management in fight 2. I really should have won that. Shouldn't have been a problem. But I created problems for myself. I should have just A1'd Duchess, not Vogoth. If we had unblocked her passive, it wouldn't have been as much of a problem. But we caused a problem for ourselves. So, no one to blame but myself. Also, I actually shouldn't have used the block buffs, the A2 on Kandrathon, because it meant he wasn't true feared. Should have done that on Duchess instead. So 2 big mistakes, and ultimately it cost us the fight. We got a bit lucky in fight 3, but I was kind of surprised to see Constantine go before my Mithrala went for a cleanse, and that obviously caused us problems as a result. But it was a speed tune that I hadn't anticipated. I thought we would definitely cut in. I thought if anything, our Mithrala would go too early, but that wasn't the way it went. As per kind of the roster analysis video we did before, where I'm using a cleanser, you can swap for any other cleanser that's built in a similar way. Same with the protection champions, and the supports are fairly flexible in terms of the ones you're using. Obviously, I'm fighting in Gold 4 against extremely well-geared teams with kind of meta champions, so I am forced to use more of the meta champions myself to be able to combat them. When you are fighting in your way through silver and through lower gold, you definitely can use other champions. They are viable. So I think the next video I want to do in the arena series is to take a look at how we can go about gearing certain champions. I think I'll probably start with cleansers, as I think you need to know your support gear and your cleanser gear first, and that will dictate how you gear the rest of your champions. Those two are kind of need to be geared simultaneously, and I think we'll do a video talking about how you can map that out. Yeah, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Any feedback's always welcome, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.